What's up, everybody? My name is Kayla Pineda. I am the social media manager here at Photo Booth International, and I'm so excited to introduce to you one of my very special guests. They are a PBI customer and a photo booth owner. So let's introduce Ken.
Hi, Kayla. Yeah, my name is Ken Dorico. I am owner of Flash Me Maine Photo Booth Rentals. And by the name, I'm from Maine.
Awesome. How long have you been in the photo booth industry?
I did my first event New Year's Eve of 2021. So not very long. Just went over 2 years in September, starting my third year.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thanks.
So what initially got you into the photo booth business?
Well, photographer by trade, many years. Most recently worked as a news photographer in TV. When I say most recently, that was a long time ago. I got out of the business in 2002. So I hadn't really done anything with photography for over 20 years. And I was working a job a few years ago that allowed me the ability to just kind of listen to YouTube videos. And I started following this photographer and I got really interested. I got the bug to get back into photography. And so I bought a digital camera and I started taking pictures. And to me, it was like, the old saying, it's like riding a bike. I just kind of started taking the pictures and things were coming out nice. And I was like, okay, this is great. I can still do this. How can I make money on the side? Taking pictures or doing something with photography, because my entrepreneurial brain is always looking for some other way to make money, start a business, and so forth. And so I was doing some research online and looking for ideas. And I didn't want to do weddings. I had done weddings in the past, and just a lot of post production work that goes into it, and not something that I wanted to do. I ran across an article online that said something about well, it kept running across articles about photo booth stuff, and Photo Booth International kept showing up in my research. And so I was just doing some digging and I found an article, and I don't remember who put the article out, but it said promote before you buy. And the gist of that article was just really to start advertising before you bought any equipment. So that's what I did. In September of 2021, I threw together a $30 Wix website and started advertising in the Facebook groups. And like 2 weeks later, I got a booking. And then I got
Wow.
another booking. And it was like, holy cow. And so then I bought a photo booth.
There you go. Wow. So you started with photography and it led you to, having your own photo booth.
Yes, exactly. And that's kind of what I think helps me distinguish me between other photo booth operators out there as well. I've got the experience. I've got 40 years worth of photography experience, and I
Mhm.
apply that into my, all my photo booth work. So,
Ooh, that's awesome. That's what we like to ask people to do, DJs, photographers to add it on because it really is a good asset, especially now in the event industry. There's so much more you can add. So I know you've been in the photo booth industry for a while now. Can you tell me some of the successful events that you've had within either the year or just throughout your whole journey?
sure. I would say that the probably two of the more successful events that I've had are both, I guess you would say, corporate type events, even though they're for schools. One's for a college in the area, and one is for a high school in the area. And both of them hired me for an initial event. And the high school, more specifically, hired me for a two booth event on the very first time. They wanted my 360 booth and they wanted my magic mirror booth. And I was kind of nervous going into that. I had never done a double booth event, and here I am going into a high school that, it's pretty well known school. It's a private school, and it was like, all right, I got to make sure that this works and everything goes smoothly. So I hired an attendant to work with me that night, and we went off without a hitch. We had, two great photo booth setups in their gym, and everything went well for their formal dance. So much so that now they're hiring me for multiple events. They've hired me for a second event, and they now have me on a list for two or three more events for this particular school year. So doing that one double booth event and having it go well has led to, the opportunity to do basically the rest of their events. They said, we've got these all pre-scheduled for the next 2 years. We'll give you the exact dates as we get closer. So I'm like, perfect. Similar situation with the college as well. They hired me for an event, and now they've hired me for multiple events as well. So when you say most successful, I would say that those were the most successful ones because they're leading to multiple events and multiple bookings.
Well, awesome. Yeah. How did you like initially get into that like event? How did the schools end up finding about your business? Why did they end up choosing you?
I believe it due to a couple of reasons, and one of them is I advertise, I pay for Google Ads, and
Mhm.
so when you search on Google, you find me. I come up on page one. I'm one of the first two or three photo booths to show up, and then they've got the sponsored ads. So that's one way, and then I promote a lot on Facebook. And I think they initially found me through Facebook, through one of my Facebook posts. I post in the swap and sell sites. I post in the wedding groups and all of that. And so the teacher that's in charge of the students that handles all of this, he saw a post somewhere, and I think that's how it kind of started the initial conversation.
Oh, wow. Well, that's amazing. Because not many people know about Facebook ads and know like that's kind of one of the most efficient ways to get noticed. How did you end up learning about Facebook ads? I feel like a lot of people going into this, it takes them a while until they finally learn about it.
So it's not actually Facebook ads that I'm using. It's just all the Facebook groups. I did try Facebook ads when I first started. I don't know if I was doing something wrong or if
Mhm.
it just maybe me, but Facebook ads led to a lot of nothing. I'd
Yeah.
get inquiries and nothing would come out of it. I'd respond and I'd get ghosted, and so the ads part of it. So I stopped doing Facebook ads. I
Yeah.
do Google ads, and
Mhm.
then on Facebook itself, I actually just post in all the swap and sell groups, whether it be weddings. I've joined pretty near every wedding group from Maine to Connecticut.
Yeah.
Uh, Advertise, and then I post in those groups, and then I joined all the local swap and sell groups, and I'll post in there from time to time. So that's how I kind of advertise on Facebook, is that way,
Yeah.
and it doesn't cost anything.
Nice. My apologies. I meant to say Google Ads, but thank you for
Yeah.
clarifying that. Sorry, that was my fault. So what strategies besides Google Ads and Facebook do you think has helped you with your photo booth business? What kind of strategies have helped you get events and networking and just giving your business more exposure?
Well, when I first started 2 years ago, it was the Facebook
Mhm.
promotions and Google Ads. Google Ads is still part of it, and Google is still part of it, because I actually, on my contact page on my website, when they fill out the form to contact me, I have some questions on that they have to answer on how they
Mhm.
found me. And one of them is Google, and the other one is I think I have radio advertising and word of mouth or referral. So this way I can kind of keep track of all of those. And so when I first started, it was, just doing what I can just to get the word out on
Mhm.
Facebook and Google. Now it's more so I'm actually getting a lot of referral traffic from previous clients,
Oh,
which
nice.
is great, and so that's helping a lot. And again, a lot of the repeat commercial accounts, corporate accounts that I'm getting as well. So it started with pushing and promoting on Facebook, and now it's kind of switched over. I've done some radio advertising as well, and I actually met with a my radio salesperson earlier today, and he's trying to get me to start back up again, and so I'm considering going back on the air and doing some radio advertising again, just to keep the name out there. His thought is, you just keep pounding people with a name, and at some point it's going to stick with somebody. My major competitor in this area does not advertise, and so I
Wow.
want to be one up on him, and I want to make sure that I become the go-to person.
Nice. It sounds like you're doing great. I mean, I hadn't even thought about radio. So that's great. And you do have the perfect radio voice, when I say you have a great talking voice. So I can see how that's getting you more bookings. So what's some advice that you would give other photo booth business owners, whether they're just starting out or they've been in the business for a while? What's something you could, give to them as advice or tips that would be useful for them?
I guess the biggest advice, especially to somebody starting out, is kind of, take my example and use Facebook, use social media to your for use it to help you. I mean, it's there. As millions of people on Facebook, and in your area, just start talking about your business, and not even spam your business, but just kind of talk about it with people. A lot of times what I'll do is in some of these wedding groups, instead of just posting about my business and my photo booth, I'll comment just on somebody's question about photography. They're looking for a photographer, blah, 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 whatever it may be, and I might throw in my 2 cents as an experienced photographer, and hopefully that will open up the conversation to other things.
Mhm.
um, One of the things I've also done is I've spun off another business that's also in the event sector, and I refer both businesses back and forth to each other. So when somebody wants this particular item, I talk to them about the photo booth. When they inquire about the photo booth, I talk to them about the other one. So that's one bit of advice. And then the other bit of advice is just work hard. You gotta it it can be a grind. You but you know what? It's all for you, and it's all for, developing and growing your business. Don't get discouraged. Go out there and just, do the best you can. Learn about photography, learn the basics about that, and be better than everybody else.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. That was great advice. Couldn't have said it better myself. Before we wrap this up, Ken, give yourself a shout out once again. Promote your photo booth business. Everyone in the main area, this is the person to book for your events. So go ahead, Ken.
It's Ken from Flash Me Maine Photo Booth Rentals, based out of Bangor, Maine. I cover all of New England, from Maine to Vermont to Connecticut, Massachusetts, and so forth.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.